Hi students, my name is Niyati Said, your online tutor. Thanks for watching Wikipedia word videos. My topic for the presentation is class Mammalia of kingdom Animalia. Okay, this is the progression of from apes to humans. Turn your frustration into fun with your online tutor Niyati Said. So let's proceed towards our topic, that is class Mammalia. Class Mammalia, it consists of mammals in extremely diverse and very advanced group in the animal kingdom with certain distinguishing features. Mammals, they are endothermic and a high rate of metabolism just like class apes, but unique to mammals are hair and mammary glands. The mammary glands, they produce milk that nourishes the young, and the hair helps insulate the body and maintain a warm, constant body temperature. It also serves a protective barrier is the skin, a layer of epidermis over a layer of fat. Mammals, they have an efficient circulatory system with a four-chambered heart, a well-developed brain, and a four limbs. Most mammals are terrestrial, but there are about 1,000 winged species including bats and 80 aquatic species including whales and dolphins. There are three major groups of mammals that are divided by their embryonic development. First, I will brief you here only. First class is Monotremes, that lays egg. With only three living species are the mammals that lay eggs. The eggs are incubated in a nest, and after the eggs hatches, a young feed on the milk secreted by the fur of the mother. One species of monotreme, the platypus, that lives in the Tasmania and Australia. Besides the few monotreme species, all mammals are characterized by giving birth to the live young. Marsupial is the other type of a mammal. All marsupials, they live in Australia, New Zealand, and Central and South America. Marsupial, they give birth to tiny embryos that are attached to the mother's nipple. These embryos grow in an external pouch attached to the mother's abdomen called marsupium. One example of marsupial is a kangaroo with a pouch on the ventral side. Okay, so come to the origin of mammals. The oldest fossils of the mammals date back around 200 million years ago to early Mesozoic era. Fossil evidences indicates mammal evolved from reptiles called therapsids. Therapsids we will be studying in detail. Okay, early mammals coexisted with dinosaurs but were mouse-sized and ate insects. These early mammals were nocturnal and endothermic. Mammals, they took over all habitats and diversified once the dinosaurs went extinct. Okay, mammals endothermic vertebrate that possess mammary glands and hair. This is the progression representation from apes to mammals. As you can see, it got converted into mammal. I hope you liked this representation. So, how mammals evolved from tetrapods? Tetrapods, as we know that they are amphibians and amniotes. Amniotes is further is divided into two. One is sauropsids and synapsids. Synapsids is again subdivided into plecosaurus, therapsids, cynodonts, and finally mammals got evolved. Okay, from tetrapods. Okay. The class Mammalia, mammals, is divided into two subclasses based on the reproductive techniques. As I have told you, the one that lays egg is known as monotremes, and the mammals which give live birth, they are known as therians. Okay, the latter subclass is divided into two infraclasses. That means therian. Therian is again divided into two, marsupials and eutherians. Okay. Monotremes, these are the monotremes, the one that lays egg. The eggs are incubated in a nest, and after the eggs hatches, the young feed on the milk secreted by the fur of the mother. One species of monotreme, the platypus, they lives in the Tasmania and Australia. Besides the few monotreme species, all mammals are characterized by giving birth to the young. Okay. And the marsupials are the second type of the mammals. Also, marsupial, they live in Australia, New Zealand, Central and the South America, as I've told you earlier. Marsupial, they give birth to tiny embryos that are attached to the mother's nipples. These they grow in an external pouch attached to the mother's abdomen called marsupium. One example of a marsupial is a kangaroo with a pouch on the ventral side. Okay. These are the therapsids, as I've told you that we will be studying in detail about them. So therapsids, one Plecosaurus, they give rise to a group of animals called therapsids. Just showing you. This is Plecosaurus, from which therapsids evolved from it. Okay, and after therapsids, cynodonts, and cynodonts, mammals. So therapsids, some Placosaurus, they give rise to a group of animals called therapsids. The earliest therapsids, they live about 260 million years ago. At first, the therapsids looked a lot like Dimetrodon, but after a while, they could easily be mistaken for animals. They evolved a number of mammalian traits, such as legs positioned under the body instead of along the sides. Therapsids became the most common and the diverse land vertebrates during the second half of the Permian period. The Permian period ended about 250 million years ago with a mass extinction. Most therapsids went extinct. Their nikes, you can say their habitats, were taken over by the sauropsids. Okay, these were the amniotes that evolved with the dinosaurs, reptiles and the birds. Not all therapsids went extinct, however. The few that remained no longer had to compete with many other therapsids. Some of them eventually evolved into mammals. Okay, these were the early mammals. I told you that mammals, they have distinguishing features such as mammary gland that produce milk that nourishes the young, and the hair help insulates the body and maintain a warm, constant body temperature. It also serves as a protective barrier is the skin, a layer of the epidermis over a layer of fat. Okay, mammals, they have lungs. Mammals have efficient circulatory system with a four-chambered heart, also developed brain and the four limbs. Okay, most mammals are terrestrial, but there are about 1,000 winged species including bats and the 80 aquatic species including whales and the dolphins. Okay, there are three major groups of mammals that are divided by their embryonic development, which we have already discussed, and most give live birth with a few exceptions. Mammalia is divided into two classes. One is Protheria, which is known as Monotremes, and the Theria. Based on the embryonic development, they are divided into two: Metatheria and the Eutheria. Theria, they are commonly known as Marsupials, and the Eutheria, they are commonly known as Placental Mammals. Okay, so mammals, they are divided into three: Placental, Monotremes and Marsupials. Okay, placental animals, the embryo that develops into the uterus. Okay, and placenta provides nutrient to the embryo. It contains amnion like a bird and the reptile eggs. There are about 4,200 species. Okay, monotreme, they lay eggs. They only live in Australia and the neighboring islands. They have a mixture of reptilian and the mammalian characteristics. They are platypus and the echidna are the examples. Marsupials, they have a pouch. Young born before fully developed. Most live in Australia and the neighboring island, except opossum. Kangaroo and koalas, they are the examples of marsupials. Okay, as I have told you that we will be discussing about them in detail. So first class is monotremes, the one that lays egg. There are only 5 living monotreme species: the duck-billed platypus and the 4 species of echidna. They are also known as spiny anteaters. All of them are found only in Australia and New Guinea. Monotremes are not a very diverse group today. There has not been much fossil information known until rather recently. Okay, in some ways monotremes are very primitive for mammals, because like reptiles and birds, they lay eggs rather than having live birth. In a number of other respects, monotremes are rather derived, having highly modified snouts or beak, and modern adult monotremes have no teeth. Like other mammals, however, monotremes have a single bone in their lower jaw, 3 middle ear bones, high metabolic rate, hair, and they produce milk to nourish their young ones. Okay, so there has never been much doubt that monotremes, they split off from the other mammals group at an early stage due to their many ancestral reptilian characters. As you can see, the mid 20th century, they saw much dispute regarding the evolutionary positioning of the other two major groups of the Mammalia. One is Metatherian, which are commonly known as Marsupial, and the Eutherian, which are commonly known as Placental Mammals, with the respect to the monotremes. Okay, so proceed towards the second class, that is Marsupials. Marsupials are the group of mammals which are commonly thought of as pouched mammals, okay, such as kangaroo. They give live birth, but they do not have long gestation period like placental mammals. Instead, they give birth very early, and the young animals, essentially a helpless embryo, climbs from the mother's birth canal to the nipples. There, it grabs onto with its mouth and continues to develop, often for weeks or months depending on the species. The short gestation time is due to having a yolk type placenta in the mother superior. Placental mammals, they nourish the developing embryo using the mother's blood supply, allowing longer gestation period. Okay, like other mammals, the marsupials are covered with hairs. Mothers nurse their young. A young kangaroo may nurse even when it has grown almost to the mother's size. The only naturally occurring marsupial in the United States is the opossum. Okay, in the past, however, marsupials were quite common. During the Mesozoic, marsupials, they were very common in North America, more common in fact than placental mammals. Okay, in South America and Australia, however, marsupial continued to be an important group of land mammals. Many South American forms are similar to the North American opossum. Okay, in Australia, though marsupials, they continue to be very diverse and are dominant native mammals. They include kangaroos, Tasmanian devils, and other typical Australian mammals. Until recently, they also included the marsupial wolf. Okay, though marsupial today do not have as many species as do the placental mammals, they are quite structurally diverse. They range from small four-footed forms like the marsupial mole to large two-legged kangaroos. Okay, there are several cases of convergent evolution between marsupials and placental mammals, in which the two animals have evolved to fill the same ecological niche in the different parts of the world. There are burrowing forms, grazing forms, gliding forms, and even long-snouted and eating forms, which have evolved independently into two groups. Okay, I hope it's clear to all of you. Now, the third is the placental mammals. Placental mammals, they all bear live young, which are nourished before birth in the mother's uterus through the specialized embryonic organ attached to the uterus wall, that is known as placenta. Placental mammals are a rather diverse group with nearly 4,000 described species, mostly rodents and bats. The placental mammals, they include such diverse forms as whales, elephants, shrews, and armadillos. They are also some of the most familiar organisms to us, including pets and such as dogs and cats, as well as many farm and animals such as sheep, cattle and horses. Okay, placental mammals, they all bear live young which are nourished before the birth in the mother's uterus through a specialized embryonic organ attached to the uterus wall that is known as placenta. The placenta is derived from the same membrane that surrounds the embryo in the amniote eggs of reptiles, birds and monotreme mammals. The term placental mammals is somewhat of a misnomer because marsupials also have placenta. The difference is that the placenta of marsupial is very short-lived and does not make as much of a contribution to fetal nourishment as it does in eutherians, as placental mammals, they are known scientifically. Okay, now come to the primates. Order Primata. Lemurs, monkey, apes and humans are the examples of primata. They are evolved from a tree dwelling. It's dwelling, okay? Insect-eating ancestor about 65 million years ago. They are very flexible shoulder joints. They have opposable thumbs. They have fingernails. They have two eyes with a binocular vision. They care for young and nurture offspring for extended period of time, okay? They have a two group of primates, Loris, Galapagos and lemurs, and Madagascar and Comoro Island. Loris in Africa and South Asia. Many have claws, not nails. Two groups of primates, Tarsius, New World monkey and Old World monkey, NWM, that is New World monkey, and OWM, that means Old World monkey, apes and humans. Tarsius from Southeast Asia. New World monkeys in Americas have prehensile tail that grasp and are tree dwelling. Okay, remember, New World monkeys, they have a prehensile tail that grasp and are tree dwelling. Old world monkeys, they are usually ground dwelling. Okay, remember, New World, they are tree dwelling, and the Old World, they are ground dwelling. Okay, like baboons, mongrels and macaques. No external tail is found. Apes are gorillas, semangos, orangutans, gibbons, chimps, bonobos and humans, which are the closest relative to the humans. These were the early primates. The name prosimian means pre-monkey. Okay. The living prosimians are placed in the suborder Prosimiae, which includes 4 families of lemurs, the bush babies, lorises and potos, okay, and tarsiers. Prosimians are primarily tree dwellers, that means they are New World monkeys. They have a longer snout than the monkeys and the apes, and the prosimian nose usually ends in a moist nose, indicating a well-developed sense of smell. A longer proportion of the prosimians is devoted to the sense of smell than the sense of vision. Prosimians, they are actively scent marks their territories to warn other mammals of their occupancy. Okay. The scent marks are made with a strong smelling fluid produced by the special gland, or with the urine or the feces or the excreta. Okay, prosimian eyes are large. As you can see, they have a very large eyes and are adapted for the night vision, with the tapetal layer in the retina of the eye that reflects and reuse light. Okay, isn't they scary, tarsiers? These are the bush babies. Primates such as gibbons, monkeys, tarsiers, lemurs, they all make up the diverse and the beautiful world of primates. Ape family, these are the gibbons. Like all apes, gibbons are tailless. They don't have tail. Gibbons are rare, small, slender, long-armed, tree-dwelling apes. Because they are so dexterous while moving in the trees, almost no predators can catch them. These are the orangutan apes. These apes mostly live in trees. They are arboreal and swing from branch to branch using their arms. The word orangutan means man of the forest in the Malay language, as its habitats are being usurped by man. The orangutan population is decreasing and it is in the grave danger of extinction. Bonobos, they are humans' closest relatives. They are formerly called the pygmy chimpanzee and less often the dwarf or the gracile chimpanzee. The bonobo is distinguished by relatively long-legged, pink lips, dark face, and the tail turf through adulthood, and the parted long hair on its head. Okay, long hairs are not shown, but yes, they have a parted hair on their head. Are they humans? They are the closest relatives of humans, you can say. Bonobos, they are endangered, as I have told you. So, now come to the early hominids. The earliest known hominids are the members of the genus Australopithecus, the earliest of which date to more than 4 million years ago. Unlike other primates, but like all hominids, Australopithecines were bipedal. Their crania, however, were small and ape-like, with an average cranial capacity of about 450 cc in the gracile species and the 600 cc in the robust form. This is the Australopithecus afrancis, and this is the Homo erectus, or you can say the walker and the endurance runner, and this is the walker and the tree climber. Okay, is that they have unbalanced head, and this has a balanced head. It has a narrow shoulder and the high and the narrow shoulder. They have a low and the wide shoulders. They have wide chest. They have narrow chest. From that don't have a stabilized foot arc, but yes, they have a stabilized foot arc that helps in walking and the endurance learner. Okay, have foramen, a short foramen. They have a very short and wide waist. They have a very tall and a narrow waist. Okay, a small hip is very small. Knee and the ankle joints are also very small. They have a large hip, knee, and the ankle joints. Okay, they have a short tendons. These are the tendons, whereas tendons are very long, the one that connects bone with the muscles. Okay, the other hominid relatives are Arabdicus, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo ergaster, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo sapiens. So thank you, and stay tuned to Edipedia World videos.